Welcome to The Time of Your Life, the show where I ask, what would you do if you won a $2 billion lottery? With me today, I've got a very good friend visiting from Hawaii, Igor Siberia. My name's David Plouffe. Let's get started. Igor, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Good to see you as well.
Absolutely. I want you to imagine that someone gifted you a lottery ticket. You looked at the numbers on the ticket and it matched all 5 numbers, Powerball, fantasy, everything in perfect alignment that you won $2 billion. You went to the lottery office, you claimed your winnings, and in a bank account right now, you've got $2 billion. We're going to pretend taxes don't exist and there's no other legal issues or anything. We're sitting here in Ferndale, Michigan. The time is 12:46 in the afternoon. What do you do first?
Wow. Well, first I get really excited. I'll be like, oh my God, like what? It would take me a moment to just like really feel through it. I feel like that's how I usually go through life.
You just let it sink in for a minute.
Let it sink in, yeah.
I know you to be a very meditative type of person. How long do you think you would sit with that knowledge? Would it be like a couple seconds, a couple minutes, or would you like sit for like hours or days even?
Yeah, no, definitely. It would be few hours at least. Definitely see myself like dropping in, closing my eyes, and I would just radiate in the gratitude for however that happened and however that came to my life, and I'm sure I'll be crying as well, and then I would just sit for a few hours to really like see what that means to me and what is that gonna do and what kind of new possibilities it will open.
Do you think, you said with your eyes closed, do you think you would have any kind of notes that you would be taking? Would you be using a computer at all? Would you be eating anything, drinking anything?
Yeah, I think I'm more be just like in meditating there, like making mental notes of like again opening possibilities even further. So I pursue a lot of awesome things in my life already, and the way I see it after all the excitement. Gonna kind of like even itself out, I start thinking, all right, well now how we can help to the world, because for the last multiple years I've been on that mission mindset, like literally every day, what else I can do to like support this humanity evolution, and I put all my love and energy into that space and constantly thinking and doing things and traveling to places, facilitating those workshops, and I could definitely see how that can help to boost reach of people that I'd be able to gather together.
All right, so it sounds like for your first act, you want to help the world. What do you think the world needs?
All the humans need to feel the emotions. Like my work is very simple and based on just the design for everybody to really feel what's never been felt before. And in simple way to say is just to process all the anger, frustration, to feel sadness, cry, and that all for you to reconnect to your true joy, to your true happiness, to your authenticity, to like state of bliss and thriveness, of like meaning that like to remember the possibility that exists within each person.
So these are things that you felt in your past, and you want everyone to be able to experience all those things. What do you think the most efficient way to communicate that message or actualize that goal is?
Well, you mean the way how I do it, or what exactly you're asking?
So, we're here in Ferndale, Michigan. We're sitting at a table. It's just you and me. And we've gone on a lot of adventures together. We've done a lot of cool things together.
Yeah.
We've certainly felt many emotions together.
We did.
And you want everyone to be able to experience that.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that's something that you want to do personally on an individual basis, like going person by person, helping people become enlightened? Or do you think you'd have a team working for you, spreading the messages of joy and bliss?
Yeah, no, definitely. The way I work now, it's like by myself and gathering together about like 60 people. In that container, I always say that I bring in a full spectrum of life in these 2 hours of us being together. And there's a sequence of elements and what I do there to allow to facilitate that. But what's really important is what people get on the other side. And after many years of doing that, it's I could see that results of many people who got a chance to reconnect, to restore connection with their parents that were kind of like broken, got reconnect to like they start feeling more alive. And so answering your question is just definitely it would help me to get a team because what I do by myself, it's a lot, and having support and hire people who I can delegate tasks and just things that need to be done. It would be so much more easy.
So you said you already have a team of 60 people, or in the past you've had a team?
So 60 people is more of customers, kind of like people who come to my workshops. Okay, so it's not the team, meaning that who helping me.
So would you perhaps consider yourself a teacher of teachers?
I consider myself teacher, but I feel like we also students at the same time. We're always learning, and we teach what we learn.
So you think it's a good thing for knowledge to be spread around?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And
do you think that there are tools that exist that could be created or bought and dispersed to your future team that would help them accomplish their missions?
Well, there's many tools, I guess, exist in the world. It's a matter of putting those in the right sequence and to creating kind of like algorithm that, and it's always individual, depending on where a person is and where they're going to. However, all of us as just humans who having this experience and living life and feeling, all those moments of life that happens wherever you live. It's like it's always, and it's more about how we can quickly navigate because we really live in that fast moving, changing world.
Here's a question for you. So right now it's just the two of us here. My roommate's in the other room, but right here immediately it's just the two of us. How do you think you'd know if the world has been healed?
How would I know if the world has been healed?
Yeah.
Well, when I start noticing that I'm noticing already, but it shows a way of living and shows the lifestyles of people. Like where are they or where are they moving towards to? Some people are considering new things that they never did before, and that shows me that that's moving to that direction of like them being more fulfilled, more whole.
Well, let's bring it back to the present moment a little bit. Where do you think you would go first? Is there any city or country that you would particularly like to travel to experience for yourself, or to bring your messages and your activations?
Yeah, well, I guess I could also see how they can help me to complete the immigration process, because that's only something that I'm not allowing me to travel outside of United States yet until I finish this process. So there's definitely that financial boost can change even that obstacle, like literally very quickly. However, I mean, the first place that I would go and travel when I get a chance to go outside of US would be my hometown. I want to go and see my family that I haven't seen for 14 years. 14 years has been a long time, and I really miss them and hold them in my heart, and I look forward to really reconnect to them. And it's interesting for this 14 years how my travel perspective has been changing. I used to want to go to Maldives or like Brazil, and that all been kind of like shifting, and I'm now more want to go to like South America, to Peru, for example, or want to go to a lot of amazing places in Siberia, like Lake Baikal, where it's just places that very vibrant, energetically, and beautiful nature-wise.
So that's a lot of places.
Yeah.
We're here today,
Yeah.
and I know that you are currently on a cross-country tour, sharing your what's the like most cohesive name for your experience? The breath mystery?
It is. It's a breath mystery life experience.
So you are currently touring the country, sharing the breath mystery life experience, and that's what brought you to Ferndale. Do you think if you won the lottery that you would stop your tour and go to Siberia? Because you said you want to see your family that you haven't seen in a long time, and now with all this money you can do whatever you want. Or would you continue your journey of sharing, those breath activation experiences?
Yeah, I would absolutely finish this activation, as I've been coming very strongly that I have to bring this to a certain amount of locations, and that's what I'm pursuing and following that kind of like guidance. And I would absolutely finish what I've been doing, and it also takes a time for even process with immigration. Even if I would have a $2 billion right now, I mean, it's still gonna take some time for the process, and probably months. But outside of that, even if they would give me a green card like today, I'm that kind of person. I'm like I finish what I've been doing, and then I would just continue planning from there to like where next would be going back home to Siberia, and and yeah, spending that time with family and maybe traveling with them places that nearby, having a good quality time together in the hometown and in the places nearby.
So you got here in a van. Do you think with all this money you would upgrade your vehicle?
I thought about different types of vehicles, and I really love the minivan that I have by how compact and how maneuverable it is. A bigger car, I drove a variety of different cars, and big RVs and big bus RV, going to Burning Man, and I just do not like how I feel in the larger vehicles, and it's just not my type. I rather have be yeah. It's actually everything I needed. It's just being in that vehicle, and sure, maybe I get a different kind of car, but it's still gonna be
But that's
relatively
not
small.
high on your priority list, it sounds like.
No, no.
Yeah.
I've never been a person who like into kind
Luxury.
of like luxury cars. I always look for actually a very simple car that just do what it needs to do. You know,
Yeah.
it's just reliable.
Good. So what would you do next?
Yeah, you know, I would start thinking how else, because I could see how I can expand this knowledge that I gather in a different ways, you know, and even what I'm doing now, it's kind of like a beginning of what is coming. And I do have an intention to create more valuable content, but also courses and those little algorithms or tools that people needed to just like live on a daily basis, and just that help them to uplift their life in a simple yet very powerful way. And now I'm struggling with the amount of time, and it's I either can focus there or there, and I don't have I guess I only gonna have enough time once I get back to Hawaii. In life there is also pretty busy, but I definitely have an intention to make time to create that, and having a extra finance definitely helps to just have people who can help you to like put that all together, instead of me spending time on that.
What do you think the most valuable tool in your life that you've had has been?
Most valuable tool in my life is definitely being the breath. Like
So just
breathing,
yeah.
not just breathing, because there's so many ways of how we breathe. And like now as we speaking, we have a natural breath breathing, you know, and there is a variety of different breath techniques that helps to navigate emotions or life. And just to give an example, a breath technique that can help you reduce the level of feeling overwhelmed or anxiety, you know, and that's pretty common issue like in everybody's life, including mine. You know, I feel overwhelmed quite often. So, and having that as one of the tool, I can bring these deep inhalations to my body, and it literally shifts the way I feel within like 3 minutes. Okay, and I consider that to be a tool that accessible, available within me right now, right here. I don't need to think that I forgot something, and it brings me like some sense of peace, and I'm able to think from a different place of mind, like not from kind of like stress, but more from like, okay, well, this is what happened. What I can, what's the next step to it?
All right, here's a question for you. So, as we breathe, you know, we're taking in the air around us and, you know, exhaling the air around us. And there's scientists who are much smarter than myself who have learned that, you know, we tend to breathe and process oxygen and exhale nitrogen. And the plants, you know, the way that they photosynthesize and the way that they process the atmosphere around them do the opposite. So it's like a symbiotic relationship where we are breathing and exchanging these gases and, you know, these chemicals that create life or create some kind of movement. Do you think that you would invest any of your resources into purifying or depolluting the air in various regions?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely on my list, and not just the air, which also very valuable. Just keep seeing all the smokes that comes, and it's get my heartbeat increases when I see that. And I actually thought about variety of, because I'm thinking about I'm a like such a so connected to the like wind breath. Wind is one of my favorite element of the nature. When there's a high winds, people freak out. I'm like, I'm enjoying it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And so when I'm driving, specifically now, I'm spending so much time on the road, and I'm like constantly thinking how much gas, how much that toxic gas being coming out from the cars, and I was like, what if there's a idea of invention? What if each vehicle gonna have a device in front of them? Because most of the time, especially in the city, cars driving one next to each other, right? So wherever coming from the back of that car in front of me, my car have a device that can suck that in and process. Instead of that goes up in the air, it just goes in through the filtration system of that car, and that will definitely, I could see the potential how it can reduce amount of toxicity that goes in air to like me, I don't know, by 30-40%.
Do you have an opinion on electric vehicles?
Uh,
Tesla,
yeah, well, electric vehicles, while they brilliant by even the fact that they don't have that toxicity that goes in the air. They're just other side of it with the
and
battery.
the manufacturer, yeah.
Right, manufacturing the battery, while it's still a better solution than what we current vehicles we have. It's still not maybe ideal. I want to say, I think we can. There could be a hydrogen kind of vehicles that even better than what that is.
Do you think you'd ever get a horse?
If I get a horse, I love animals. Oh my god.
Did you tell me you had a horse once?
I did not, but
Or you worked with horses?
I definitely I rode the horse, and I spent some time back in the days. And I remember when we got a chance to see the wild horse, like few of them actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But even if I would have animals, I definitely see myself to create an environment for them that they can be free, or have a big, like a large enough vast of like land that they can like be free and run. And I don't like to see them in a very constricted kind of areas. So
Here's a question for you. Do you currently, or would you, with your newfound wealth, acquire property?
property, I never, I don't see myself buying a house. I see myself buying a piece of land, and it not necessarily. I'm never been inspired by big houses in general, and I'm personally not even requiring to have a space. I feel uncomfortable in big spaces like that in general, and I got a chance to live. I have a lot of friends that I got a chance to stay at their beautiful houses, and it feels overwhelming for me to just like, wow, that's a lot to just take care of and navigate. And in my world, it's unnecessary. And I would just, I'm more of the nature person, and I want to create a living situation that be more immersed with natural environment. I don't even know what kind of structure that could be. That is just shelter and protects you from outside world like rain and but still kind of compact in that way.
So you prefer a nomadic lifestyle, perhaps
Not
not having your
necessary.
own home base?
No, I do like to have my home base. Yeah, I mean, I travel a lot and now travel for work to bring this experience, but I can do that, but I definitely love to have a home where I can come and
But you don't
relax.
want a house necessarily.
Not necessarily the house,
Uh,
yeah.
but you think something in nature. Uh,
Yeah. Right now I'm living in a medium-sized house, which is just perfect. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and it has just everything what I needed, and it's beautiful, and lots of that house made out of the glass, so it's like very transparent. So you can like being in the kitchen, you like see all the plants outside, so it feels like you are almost outside, but you are inside and protected, from just like temperature, maybe some insects. So, and I guess I see myself just building something similar in a different way.
so something that you've shared with me is that you're a pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that your diet would change at all with unlimited funding? Would you prepare food for yourself? Would you have a private chef? Would you go to restaurants? How would this impact your lifestyle?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's going to impact my life a lot. It's not going to change my diet. I feel very good with being pescatarian at this moment of my life. And if that need to be changed, my body kind of tells me. I used to be a vegetarian for multiple years, and um, then I have to shift. Naturally, that happened. Um, with the work style I have right now, I am kind of do both. I like a homemade food and I do as much as I can, and also have to buy food a lot or like eat in the cafes or restaurants.
Do you prefer, would you say, going to a grocery store and picking out your own food, or going to a restaurant and having food prepared for you?
I like the balance between those two. Like when I'm at home in Hawaii, I mostly cook to myself, and if maybe friend visiting, we would go out, and I love that kind of style. I can because if I eat too often in the restaurants, I don't like that, and like the Thai place that we have in Bohol, like I just can't do that too often. This is just like the few times a week. It's more than enough.
They've got some good spicy food.
Well, it's delicious. They have so much variety, and I feel like I'm there often enough that I'm like, this is just yeah. I mostly like to get farmers' food, or like veggies grown from farmers, and there's some different kind of buckets that they get. And if they would make or cook somebody food, I would totally do that, from kind of like farm to table, fresh food. Yeah, I would maybe treat myself a few days a week.
uh, so we're talking about food. Do you think you'd ever start your own farm? If you were going to grow uh, some kind of vegetables or fruit, what do you think your like essentials or favorites would be?
Yeah, I love citrus fruits. I see having oranges, tangerines are my favorite since I was a kid. So definitely see some tangerine trees. I love those apple bananas, which is actually very easy to grow in Hawaii. And I actually
Apple
seen,
banana being a variety of banana,
yeah,
not an apple and a banana.
yeah. Apple banana is actually a small
Yeah.
kind of
That's
type.
like the ice cream bananas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It just has a more sour flavor compared to ice cream banana. Yeah, well, growing food is kind of absolutely yes. Yeah, I just Yeah, seeing all kind of veggies, tomatoes and cucumbers, depending on the area where I would live, where I will allow to grow in that specific climate, because I love greenery and salads and everything related to it. Yeah, and Hawaii has also so many amazing tropical veggies and fruits that are just fascinating, and I feel like I would grow that out of curiosity.
Do you have a favorite salad veggie? I'm a kale guy myself.
You are the kale. Well, we talk about basil. I love
Oh
basil.
yeah, basil. Yeah.
Yeah, basil is awesome.
Yeah.
And I love salad leaves, just regular,
Just
like
spring mix, spinach, lettuce.
yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Combined with just carrots and tomatoes, cucumbers, sprouts.
Cucumbers, yeah.
Yeah, sprouts and all that stuff.
So something that I know about you is that you are a burner. You have attended Burning Man, you told me 7 times.
7th year this year, yeah.
Are there any art projects or gifts or large scale works that you might try to create with your finances to be able to bring to that event?
Oh, I love that you're asking, because I've been dreaming at Burning Man. Burning Man is, for me, it's like the place of possibilities, and it's everybody bring their dream there, and some people work on like a year to like bring that to community. And I thought that I would love to create a space that is be a combination of different breathing exercises that is also aligned with a different time, more in the evening, more restorative breathing exercise, and in the morning more activating that brings just more energy and just rebalance what need to be rebalanced, and that all be combined with epic sound and vibration of variety of instruments, and I feel like there would be just day and night facilitation of that kind of experiences for people to reconnect to themselves on that deeper level.
One thing that you shared with me that you said was particularly awe-inspiring was a drone show that you experienced. Do you think you would help fund any type of like drone team?
Well, drone show, I mean, they already found it.
It's already there. You don't need to do anything.
But my other thought was actually, I'm a big fan of Lion King movie, or like cartoon, something that I grew up with as a kid, and I know many of people I got a chance to share that are still loving it. There's so much wisdom, and I want to bring that spirit to Burning Man, and I would just fund production to put
like a live performance, with costumes and musicals,
right?
Yeah,
to have the whole Lion King performance there with people together participating, like meaning singing even, or to have that, just have a camp Lion King and connect all the lions of just whoever, how they connected, if that's a spirit animal, they just love lions, or they just curious about them, and that's all gonna be like designed for people to connect to the big heart of the lion. What I'm being always fascinated about, it's not how strong he is, but what a big heart he has to just take care of the tribe, take care of the nature as like a protector and the guardian of all of it. So it was always fascinating for me.
So if you were going to put on a performance like that, or if you wanted a performance like that to exist, do you think that that's something you would direct yourself, or would you find like a director or a choreographer someone experienced in play production to help you facilitate that to happen?
Yeah, that part I haven't thought about it yet, but I definitely there's part of me that wanna participate and be
If
part of it.
you're gonna act in a production of The Lion King, would you Simba, Mufasa?
I would definitely be Simba. That's actually was my playa name. This Burning Man,
Yeah.
Simba. And 2 years ago, my friends were getting married, and it was theme of Burning Man was Animalia, and it's all about animals. And I was thinking like, how can I bring something unique to their special day? And so I got this beautiful mask. It's kind of like a headpiece that I was officiating their wedding, and it's the mask of the lion, and it has lots of feather as its mane. And what I later find out, I never seen a Broadway show Lion King. I have not seen it yet, and I actually have an intention to watch it this upcoming um, time that I be in New York. I've after Burning Man, I've seen a YouTube video from Broadway show, and I find out that's that kind of mask they use in a Broadway show. I was coincidence. I like wow. I wondering if that's the same even artist who did that for them, because she did exactly the same version of it. I was like, it was beautiful.
It's spectacular. You are Simba.
Simba, yes. Yeah, we've been. I have a lot of stories related to that, and there was a time me and my friend Lauren we were chanting every morning this song of Nasvenia from Lion King, and we were just it's just very energizing and chant and the song itself. We were doing it for fun, but there's some incredible energy in because it's an ancient chant that I found that coming from Africa, and something about that vibration that we like activated with not necessarily thinking about it, but like then the things start happening in her life related to Africa, and she was invited out of the blue to be part of Africa art project. She's an artist, so they invited her to create an art for that African project, and I got a chance to meet a Slavic African person that also rare, but was amazing, and he got a chance to actually translate to me the meaning of the chant, and just told me everything about like Africa.
Do you remember the meaning of the chant?
Well, when they sing in a bala in a Nayama, they sing here it is, here's the lion. Yeah, and they just like here it comes, the lion comes.
So that's what they're saying after Na Sabinya.
Yeah.
Nala. Can you give it to me one more time?
Yeah, they do. They say in the bala in the Nayama, something like that sequence. In the bala in the Nayama, in the bala in the Nayama. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Is Africa a place that you have ever visited or would visit?
Yeah, 100%. I never been there yet, but something that I did find out after this African activation. I was taking a Hawaiian course, and we've been prompted to go deeper to our ancestry. And even though I've done so much work and had knowledge have about my ancestry line, during that time I find out through another DNA test that I did, then 7 or 8 generations back, I had a grandfather from Ethiopia.
Wow.
And that was a surprise. And that was like in that research time point after I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. And I searched, well, it started making sense after I did research about Ethiopia. and there's few things that Ethiopia known for. It's jazz, and specifically saxophone play.
Really?
And I've been, you know my story. I've been like out of nowhere so passionate about that instrument, and I never knew where is it coming from. It was quite confusing, but it was just present. And the second is the coffee. Ethiopia known for Ethiopian coffee, and I spent outside that I spent 5 years in coffee business, but I love coffee. Yeah, and
Do
it
love
all started
coffee.
making sense.
I've had Ethiopian food once or twice. Once at a restaurant in New York that was very good. We have an Ethiopian restaurant here in Ferndale. I believe it's called Blue Nile that I've been wanting to try. If you want to try it while you're
That
here.
would be, yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah. But so that's on your list. Do you think you would go to Ethiopia, or do you think you would go to a different, just explore all of Africa?
Yeah, I really want to explore. I don't really. I would Ethiopia be on the list, and I just want to see Africa. Like I want to see the wildlife. I want to see all the animals. I'm fascinated by that large animals like giraffes and elephants and like
Lion,
lions.
zebra, yeah,
Yeah.
gazelle.
I've seen gazelle, yeah, and I've seen there's a lot of rescue centers that lions are more friendly. But I also, yeah, it's very interesting.
Would you ever like pet a lion, do you suppose? Like if you could get close enough, or do you think
Yeah, I would love
you'd
that.
share energy with a lion?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely see that. I want to have a full-on connection with just cuddling and being close to it. I feel so connected to them, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to actually meet them in person.
Yeah. Well, that's all very cool, all very good. What else do you think you would want to do? Are there any extravagant things?
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, something I really was thinking about is developing new skills, like physical skills. Um, Kind of do different kind of flip flops or like handstands. I feel
Like
like
acrobatics? Or?
more acrobatics, yeah, and really invest my time and energy to get more into sport in general, different kind, and specifically acrobatics too. Yeah, I love, and something that I also feel I'm passionate about is dancing, and I do wanna learn different type of dancing. Like I learned in the past salsa and bachata, and I'm just looking forward to have more of that time in different dance styles.
Are you familiar with, I think it's called capoeira?
Yeah.
I feel like that would fit your style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's more of a dance or more of a martial art or what exactly where it lies, but I could see you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, possibly. I'm a curious person. I always love to give it a try and see how that feels and what is that about. Yeah, definitely explore that.
Something that we pursued pretty far together were lessons in massage. Do you think receiving massages is something that you would do more often with more finances?
I when I met Erhard, who is a massage master teacher, he needed help to put, because he's a brilliant teacher, and I wanted to help and support him to spread his knowledge. It's kind of like I ended up being part of it because I was putting those classes together. But as a Reiki master, I definitely felt that I want to learn some of the skills to just be more knowledgeable about all the muscles and how they interconnected, And there's a lot of different points in our body that I learned from those lessons that are very helpful in my just offerings, even though like I do less of that now, like, and I have less of the private sessions as I used to, as I'm more transitioning to more and more working with the groups. But once in a while, yes, I do offer a session, and it's an energy session, breath session, sound session. There's a touch as well to move the energy, because there's blockages that I found in the body that I could feel them, like physically, energetically. So they need to be moved, and different types of movements really helps to like touch that deep tissue in there. But answering your question, not necessarily. I don't really see myself do more of that. I feel like it's perfect at the level of where it is right now. But that was a fun time. Yeah, valuable skill to have. I always thought that this is kind of skill that universal, and something that I love to share and spread with the people, that learn more universal skills that can be applicable anywhere else in the world, and you don't really need to know a language, but you can always have this energy exchange. Either people will give you food or money specifically because you can make money out of it too, and it's more of the skills it's valuable to have, because you never know where you're gonna be in the world.
So something you just mentioned is that you're perhaps interested in sport, exploring more into that world. How do you feel about like skiing, surfing? Would you consider jet skiing to be a sport?
No, I don't think jet ski is well. At least
it's just an activity.
It's more the activity, yeah. But like if it's the wakeboard, that would be a water sport, yeah. And I'm like snowboarding, and I forgot what specific. Well, anyway,
do you have a favorite snowboarding spot? You go to like Colorado?
We used to go to Tahoe.
Tahoe?
Quite often, yeah. I definitely see it. It's a beautiful spot to do any ski activity. Yeah. Water-wise, I don't necessarily love surfing. I've done it, and I'm more like other water activities, and like wakeboard, or like when you do this
kayaking, perhaps.
Kayaking, yeah, and things like that. Yeah, I see myself immersing myself more in the water once I get back.
Yeah. Do you think there are any, how do you feel about music? I know you are a creator of music. You put on very, I would consider your style to be atmospheric, or the rhythms that you use are not necessarily more of an experience, like a long experience. Are there any established musicians or bands that you particularly like or would enjoy experiencing their creations?
Yeah.
So living or dead, who's your favorite?
I actually have not had my favorites for a long time, and even growing up, never had. And so getting into the music world and learning different instruments, and with the flutes and drums and more of indigenous instruments, I call them, and I creating a different soundscapes in the different frequencies that I really obsessed with, that helps people to process a certain amount of emotions in those vibrations. lower or higher. And then one person that I would definitely love is Parangi. Yeah, and he's a Brazilian multi-instrumental musician, world known. He plays a variety of instruments. He have like hundreds of microphones. When I was looking at his setup, he has a microphone for each instrument that he plays, and it's like a whole studio that he brings to for his performance. This performance is like extraordinary, and I got a chance to just not to see his performance, but to take his classes and workshops and study with him as well. Yeah, even for that period of time, we have like a full day of those activities. It was quite amazing and fascinating, and I love it.
Have you ever experienced like a symphony orchestra? Is that something that you enjoy? Like violins and timpanis and brass.
Definitely. And I want to say that I also have seen my Instagram that I look at actually full of nature elements like birds, turtles, water activities, and the second part is all sort of musicians, all of it, orchestra. When 5 people singing together, one person singing in the nature. I'm very obsessed with all types of music and singing, and one of my favorite band, actually, you reminded me, called Mute. Mute. It's from Europe, and they have maybe about 20 people in the band, and they have all type of like saxophone and tube and drum, and they just sometimes show up on the street in a random city, and they just put that wild performance. And they actually traveled to US this year too, and just I highly recommend just everybody could just Google them and see.
What was the name one more time?
It's a Mute.
Mute.
If I'm not mistaken, I think so. Yeah. But they always wearing a red kind of like jackets, so it's it's easy to recognize them.
So it sounds like you prefer like acoustic or a cappella music, not so much like electronic rhythms.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in ceremonies with plant medicine, and I really enjoy natural sounds of, because all those indigenous instruments like a rain stick, it's the grain in a piece of wood, and it's like wood out of the wood, and it's just there's something not just earthy but something very natural in those sounds, and creating that, it's actual the language of the earth through that kind of music.
So you mentioned some plant medicines. I know we've talked about like cacao, ayahuasca. Are there any others that you would help to cultivate, or for yourself or others that you think are important messengers?
Yeah, San Pedro is another powerful medicine, especially specifically I'm talking about when it's done in a ceremonial way, when it's facilitated container and people get a chance to actually go deeper with that journey. The same as ayahuasca, it's a master plant, a mother of all plants, very powerful medicine too.
Do you have any opinions on like psilocybin?
Psilocybin, it's also very powerful plant medicine, and it's actually a big alive for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are well connected, and it's I know the power of it, and it's also bring lots of wisdom.
Yeah, there's one that I remember. A mutual friend of ours, Freely, once put on a workshop, an experimental transcendental activation, if you will, where we shared a Bobinsana tea.
That's right. Yeah.
Were you at that one?
Bobinsana is also a very powerful plant, and like that's part of my mission. Is I know that everybody is available for plant medicines, as we mentioned, because they would take you in different places. And however, the methodology that I develop, it's with intention to have that available to everybody, because it does not require, you do not partake anything. It's just like being you, with some breathing exercises and some questions that I'm asking, and work together with other people helps to access something very important, valuable, and transmute that to something greater, to process what need to be processed. But plant medicine, cacao, is being one of my also top favorites, as I'm drinking that almost every day. And specifically talking about ceremonial cacao, because there's a lot of confusion in the world, and there's a lot of cacao powder which is absolutely not the same as cacao I'm talking about. Cacao powder, it doesn't have cacao butter, so in the taste there's absolutely different. So it harvests more conventional, and just doesn't have as much medicine in it as what actual cacao brick. If you have a friends who can bring you from South America, anywhere, Ecuador, Peru, Mexico, it comes in a cacao brick, and then you can cut a little bit, and then you can stir it with the water and milk, and put some ingredients like cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and honey, and that taste, and some coconut butter, and that creates a beautiful, rich of vitamins, nutritions drink that really like activates you and opening your heart.
Yeah, cacao is very powerful. Very, very tasty, very delicious.
It is, yeah. Love it. Woo. Cacao.
Let's see. So we've explored a lot.
We did.
But I think we're still on Earth. Something that has recently become more available and continues to, expand is commercial space travel. Do you think, if given the opportunity, you would travel to space?
Yeah.
You think you'd want to do it?
I would definitely want to do it, yes.
How far do you think you would want to go? Would you want to be in a space station orbiting Earth? Would you want to go to the moon, to Mars, one-way trip? You could.
Well, I definitely want to have a round trip. So. But I would love to go to the moon. That's the sun is less accessible.
A little hot.
Yeah, it's very hot and bright, but like moon has been always fascinating to me by the way it looks, the way how bright it is, the energy of it, and how we live in Hawaii, connecting more to this oceanic lifestyle, how everything is interconnected with that energy of that planet. And I feel more connected to it, that I would absolutely love to visit the moon. And I got a chance to actually hold a piece of moon. And when I came across one guy who is collecting meteorites, and specifically that he had multiple pieces from different meteorites, but that being identified that came from the moon. And it was a very special connection that I had, just like even to hold a piece from the moon was very fascinating. And energy-wise, you like feel the calmness that comes from it. It's very interesting, very unique, unusual.
Do you find any particular energy from crystals? Or do you have any, like, favorite crystals?
Yeah. Crystals, each of them have a very unique energies and well-known. Amethyst is one of my kind of like crystal that I just feel the most. I feel like it's also connected to my astrology and all of it. And but I know just all of them are so vibrant and unique, and everybody can.
So before I forget, I'm going to do something really quick.
Okay. And yeah, each of them so unique, they can help access to different elements. Yeah, and actually I set something up in my place. I call it crystal grid, that I've been guided by my friend architect. So when he has his awakening, he developed a very unique way of creating crystal grids that are there's so much in depth, but like in a long story short, I want to say that each crystal has a different polarities, plus and minus. So, and then based on that polarities, he creates a certain geometrical shape out of those crystals. And you can choose, like I got a chance to choose crystals that I want to have. And so based on that, he set them up on measurement of metroglyphic yard. It's the same measurement that been used to set up a Stonehenge in, yeah, you guys know where is it? And Great Britain. Well, anyway, so the technology that he developed quite powerful because it's being attuned to certain energies. It's kind of like a high frequency stuff, but it's very powerful that I just came across and got a chance to set it up in my place. So talking about crystals, yes, I love them, and I actually have them in my place.
So you mentioned amethyst. I've got this is the amethyst bracelet that was gifted to me that I would like to gift to you.
Oh, thank you. You want to put it in my hand?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice. There you go. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
one was gifted to me at a wonderful festival here in Michigan called Electric Forest by someone named Sophia, who was really nice.
Cool.
And I've worn it many places. It's good. Always brought me good energy, and I'm sure it will do the same for you.
I love that. I still remember one of your first gift that you gave me in Hawaii. We were like looking at the stars, and you have this necklace of the star, and you give me that necklace, and that's where the bro star came from.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Remember?
Yeah, bro star.
Yeah, so hey bro star. Thank you.
And that necklace was a necklace. It was laser cut in the shape of like a 4-pointed star with 4 points, like almost like a compass. And it was gifted to me at the temple burn of Burning Man when I went to Burning Man. So while the temple was burning, that was gifted to me.
Wow.
So, amazing how these things, travel through time and space and find exactly where they need to be or want to be. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They definitely do. Yeah.
But we've been going for about an hour now, so I'm going to cut us off and let us get to some more adventures. But this has been the time of your life. Thanks for being here, Igor.
Thank you for having me. It was absolutely amazing.